Alright, it's March 2021, and a couple weeks ago, I made my way to the beautiful South Taiwanese city of Tainan. Let's talk about it. So earlier this year, I landed in Taipei. Well, Taoyuan to be precise. But then I had to make my way to Taipei for the mandatory 2-week quarantine period. Check out my other video if you're interested in what the life stuck in a room for 2 weeks is like. I can assure you it was a very interesting experience. But then after my 2 weeks in Taipei were over, I went to Hsinchu, which is where I am right now. Now, almost every single day that I've been in Hsinchu, someone or the other comes up to me and asks me, "Have you been to Tainan? The food is much better, the weather is great, you should check it out." So after hyping myself up with all the recommendations, a few days ago, I decided to go meet a friend in Tainan who is from that area. After work on Friday, I took on the Friday night rush hour commuter traffic and made my way to the Hsinchu High Speed Rail station. Now the whole facility there is really impressive. The trains run like clockwork every 30 minutes and the ride is very comfortable too. While walking into the station, casually taking in the sights, I was quite surprised to see an advertisement for the company I work for, ASML, placed front and center at the platform entrance. Anyway, now really hoping to leave work behind, I stood in a very well-organized queue and boarded the train that would take me at a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour all the way to the south of Taiwan. It was quite late by the time I reached my destination. I mean, too late for a proper meal. And proper is debatable, of course, because we did end up finding a street food stall selling a whole bunch of classic Taiwanese fried late-night foods. It was fried chicken, popcorn chicken, fried mushroom, fish cakes, etc., etc. And we ended up eating quite a lot. The next day, we woke up bright and early in a hot and humid Tainan, ready for a full day of food. It was time to check out what all the hype was about. Our first stop was this apparently famous beef soup place.
Wenjiang beef soup. One of the most famous ones in Tainan.
It looked nondescript enough from the outside, but as we got closer, there was no denying that this was a local favorite. So we're waiting in line and apparently this is nothing?
Yeah, of course not. So it used to be there would be waiting lines across the whole street, like
just for this place?
Yeah.
Wow.
A few hundred meters.
Okay, so the beef soup better be good.
Yeah, it should be.
And it was. The dish is simple. It was thin slices of beef placed raw in a bowl with piping hot beef consommé or broth poured into it. Along with this, we had a bowl of rice with a ground meat sauce and of course the quintessential thin julienne slices of ginger for that extra breakfast kick. Alright, so after having cleaned up our plates, only a few pieces of ginger left. Well, that was a great morning. Time to head to the next place. We continue on this food journey through Tainan. There was a beef sliced thin beef soup for breakfast.
Yep. And then time for desserts.
And then time for intermediate dessert. So I have my guide with me. And the goal today is to get as fat as possible in 8 hours.
Now we're exercising, right?
And now we're
walking.
Alright, here we are with the milk pudding.
Milk pudding.
And if you want to see what it looks like, there we go. Take 2.
Yep.
Damn,
yeah.
Look at that caramel. Alright, let's enjoy.
Yep.
Ooh. It's got like a saffron taste, right? Love it, it's perfect. It's like caramel custard. I don't know if you guys have had that, but I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this and see you at the next stop. So on the drive up to Tainan City from where we were staying, I was reading up a little bit about the Dutch connection to the region. And I'm not just talking about the surprisingly Dutch-looking landscape that we're driving through. It turns out that in the early 1600s, the Dutch East India Company built a fortress, Fort Zeelandia, or now known as Anping Old Fort, in modern-day Tainan, to facilitate trade and colonialist conquest, of course, with the countries in the region. Well, after the Dutch came the Ming Chinese, and after them the Qing Chinese, and so on and so on. But the fort still remains. So we paid it a visit. So So coming out of the Fort Zeelandia Museum, we have some steps to the lighthouse tower, I guess.
I think that is.
And I think the seafront is not too far away either. So let's check it out. Oh. After checking out the fort, we decided to stop by the gift shop. Then you enter the souvenir store and find what else but Confucius snack noodles. Incredible, incredible. After that dose of history, we decided to get a feel for the area and walk around a little bit.
So in Taiwanese culture, most families, they own 1 or 2 motorbikes.
I see.
So they would rather be riding their motorbike to a store like 200 meters away instead of walking there.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the oldest Grandmatsu temples
in Taiwan, main island.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so the god for seafarers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, oh, very cool. So on this hot heat stroke of a day, we're heading back to the car for now, but there's the one final look at the Grandmatsu temple. So at this point, as you can imagine, we were both very hungry. So my friend took me to a squid and octopus rice noodle soup shop, which you know is good when there's a huge line in front of it. The line has grown.
Peace.
There's still more to go. Doesn't look too complicated. It's just pieces of boiled squid and octopus in a semi-sweet soup with rice noodles. But you know what? It was perfect for that hot and humid day. And here it is. The rice noodles with octopus and squid. Lunch done, we grabbed a couple of freshly squeezed watermelon juices from across the street. There's 2 things you can always find around the corner in Taiwan, right?
Right.
Bubble tea and 7-Eleven.
Right.
And went on the hunt for some unique dessert. This is the most famous Japanese-style ice cream in Tainan.
Yes, indeed.
And what was it called again?
It's called
Chenghuijia.
Yes.
So the flavors you can get: sea salt milk, beauty tea. I don't need that. Beauty tea. I don't need that. I ended up getting beauty tea. Our bellies full, we walked around a little bit longer, not for too long, before finding our next place to eat. I mean, eating was the point of the day after all. So we're at this traditional barbecue spot, so you can pick your skewers. The way it works is, I think what it says there, if it's a short stick, it's $2, and if it's a long stick, it's $5, and you just get to pick whatever.
Right.
So they're like fish cakes and rice cakes and tofu and I think. So after picking a nice collection of intestines and fish cakes and rice cakes and tofu, we sat down to eat. So after finishing the meal, I found the payment method to be pretty unique too. And then based on the number of sticks in there is what we have to pay, as you see here. Very interesting. At this point, we were pretty full and we needed some time to digest. And what better way to help us do that than to get some Taiwanese tea? Alright, I couldn't get myself to try bubble tea at this point because I was very full, but it was very tasty nonetheless. We're at a post-snack tea shop and we found some taps for green tea, black tea and red tea. Just taps on the wall. At this point, we really needed to stop eating and take a break. So we decided to take a walk in the Confucius Temple nearby. Built in the 1600s under the Ming Chinese rule in Taiwan, this temple has been through more than 30 reconstructions since. Having been through innumerable wars and conflicts and natural disasters in the years since, this temple maintains a sense of grandeur and serenity at the same time. And what's the significance of this now?
So, because Confucius is the very first, you can say teacher in Chinese history. So we believe that Confucius can bring us luck during big exams, especially for students. So every time for a big exam test ongoing, students or parents would come over and pray for
extra knowledge.
Extra knowledge on the test.
Alright, in other news, strange things you will not find in the Netherlands. Just casually sunbathing turtles. The day was coming to a close, but we had one more stop to hit before I made my way back to Hsinchu. We headed to Chiayi to try out the famous Chiayi turkey rice. Alright, so here we are. Ever since I knew I was coming to Taiwan, everyone from Netflix to Taiwanese friends were telling me to try Chiayi turkey rice.
Right.
And then finally, here we are. The big day has come. We've ordered a lot. So we start from the turkey rice. There's fish skin in there, and then there's pork knuckles. It's very similar to Polish pork knuckles. I'm very curious how fatty it's gonna be, but let's see. And then of course there's something to wash it down, oyster soup. And as I found out last time as well, no meal is complete without a healthy dose of chicken testicles, or in this case, turkey testicles. Alright, let's go. It's not bad, honestly.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
It just pops in your mouth and it's kind of creamy.
Yeah, like tofu, right?
Like tofu. Yep, guys, like tofu. You gotta try. And now, thanks, Tommy, for showing me around today.
No problem.
This is an incredible day. We tried way too much food. Even ended with testicles. Oh my gosh, every single time. And with that, I took the high-speed rail back from Chiayi to Hsinchu. I had an incredible time exploring the south of Taiwan. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and make sure to subscribe for more.